up guys, MomoJiri here, and I am so happy I'm getting some new subscribers with the videos that I've been doing. And I'm going to be focusing mostly on Yu-Gi-Oh! And Maple Story for the next foreseeable future. Pokemon Go was going to kind of go in the back burner for a little bit. I just hit level 40, which I'm really happy about. But there isn't much to do after that. I'm still going to keep playing. I'm still going to have the same enthusiasm I always have. I'm going to still go for that perfect Kyogre and try to get a perfect Mewtwo by going to as many EX raids at Starbucks that I can and other locations around my town. But that's for another day. Now we're going to be talking about the era of Yu-Gi-Oh! We are in now. The ban list is officially official as of today. And it's a kind of a different format, I feel, because now it's the age of trap cards. And for a while, not many decks played, I would say more than 4. I would say they played 3 Solemn Strikes, oh, maybe 6. 3 Solemn Strikes and 3 evenly matched. Or maybe 3 Solemn Strikes and maybe a Mirror Force or 2. But in the age we are in now, it's absolutely insane because we have a repertoire of Mirror Forces to use. Blazing, Storming, Quaking, Drowning, and then the regular Mirror Force. The regular Mirror Force apparently isn't as good as the other ones because regular Mirror Force lets you destroy all your opponent's attack position monsters. Drowning, I believe, puts them back to the hand. Storming puts them back to the deck. Quaking puts them face down, and Blazing destroys all of them and inflicts damage equal to all their attack, I believe, half to you and half to your opponent. So, that's good. But now we see that Solemn Judgment is at 1. Torrential Tribute and Bottomless are both at 3. Ceasefire is at 3 as well, but probably won't be seeing that much play because. But Ceasefire with Solemn Judgment works beautifully because if you can catch your opponent at the wrong time or the right time for you with a well-timed Solemn Judgment, a Ceasefire could end the game right there. Just have a random Ceasefire face down, or maybe have 3 just because your opponent will have a large field, and if you have a large to semi-decent field, that could be the end right there. You could inflict anywhere from 500 to 5. No, actually, right now with links, 6,000 life point damage, depending on how many monsters are on the field. And that's pretty cool. But this video is really going to be talking about what is there to do now. What can people play? Because there are outs to having a large opponent with a large trap lineup. Like Paleozoics is a large trap lineup, but they have their own generic, their own archetype specific traps. Like I know one banishes, one destroys, one lets you draw, one lets you summon. Well, they all summon, and they all do different things, and it's pretty cool. And they're mainly used to bring out their exceeds, but those exceeds are kind of thrown out the window because of the new link format. And the link format says that you can only summon 1 extra deck monster at a time. And you can only summon more if a link monster points to the zone that you will summon it to. So if you summon an Exceed, a Synchro, a Fusion, or a Pendulum, they all have to go in that one zone. But pendulums are different. You can summon a pendulum monster in the extra monster zone and just have a bunch of others in the regular monster zone, in the main monster zone, which is cool. But a lot of decks fall short because they don't want to summon link monsters. They want to summon synchro monsters, but they can't. So certain decks took a hit, certain decks won't take hits, and it really depends. Like Firewall Dragon was a great generic, I believe it was a Link 4 Link monster. But it's now a thing of the past because it's at 1. It's still going to be a card that's going to see use, just not as much as it did before. And I'm amazed there was no reprint to it before they hit it on the limit list. But What are you going to do about that? And the era that we're in, it's like Royal Decree and a few traps. Maybe like a Solemn Judgment, 3 Royal Decrees, and like 2 trap stacks. Maybe that's all you'll play. Maybe the Malevolent Catastrophe. So your opponent attacks and destroy all their sets, spell and traps. Then we have Old Trunade instead of Giant Trunade, which just returns all set spells and traps back to the hand. So it's a very strange kind of thing. And also we have Cosmic Cyclone, we have Twin Twisters and MSTs still out there. So if your opponent has a large trap lineup, if you have a large spell and trap card removal lineup, then you'll be doing pretty good. But I mean, Full House can't see play because of all the spells and traps that people are going to be playing. And then you also have to be careful because people fake you out with the Artifact engine. And Artifact's just got a new card that says if it's destroyed during your opponent's turn, special summon it, then special summon a artifact from your graveyard. And then if you have a Morotech in your graveyard, special summon it, and then destroy a card your opponent controls. Or you destroy Artifact Sanctum, then destroy a card your opponent controls. Or you target Artifact Sanctum, use its effect to destroy one of their cards, and then special summon it, and destroy it, and then summon it. I don't know. But artifacts can be a tricky engine to deal with, especially with trap tricks, because they could search bottomless. Trap tricks might see a lot of play now, because you could just search bottomless endlessly. And that's actually pretty cool. Where can I find my Marmellos? Unless it's 1. Is Marmello at 1? Or is that... It should be unlimited at 3, right? Someone tell me down. But the deck that I see getting to the top would be Counter Fairies. Mainly because of Solemn Judgment. And I mean, Counter Fairies are at this point where they can negate and destroy everything your opponent does, but if they attack you, you're done. Because you have to have a weird balance between counter traps that stop monster effects, spells and traps, and then you have to have battle negation. You have to be able to destroy your opponent's monsters, or at least send them back to the hand, send them back to the deck, or have 3 Honest. But then if you draw too many Honest in the beginning of the duel, it doesn't help you out because then you have no negations, no nothing. So what do you do? And then with the more traps that are coming out, are we going to be playing in Counter Fairies the hand traps, the heralds of Orange Light, and the herald, well, not really orange, but the herald Purple Light, just to destroy trap cards. Because if you summon one of your main monsters and then your opponent wants to like bottomless it, if it's your second turn and you haven't said anything, then your monster's bottomless and you can't do anything. And then you'll be activating counter traps without being able to search, without being able to draw anything. Maybe counter trap cards should go with the heralds. Maybe I should play Herald of Perfection and Ultimate Herald of Perfection. Something like that. Maybe I should do that with Counter Fairies and Arc Lord Christia just to make sure my opponent can't do anything. But then that makes an entirely different deck. Like, that makes a deck that is basically different. Like, it won't be just about counter traps, searching counter traps, getting counter traps, activating counter traps. It will be kind of mixed match because then you have counter traps, trap destruction, monster negation, monster battle phase destruction, or stuff like that. So it'll be a very strange deck. But there are ways around it. Maybe you just have to go into your side deck and have 3 Herald of Purple Lights. Arc Lord Christia, you know, Hall of Valhalla, you know, all that stuff in the side deck, just to throw your opponent off, and maybe just like switch all the counter trap cards out for a new deck, and just instead of playing counter traps, pay like fairies or something. But like there are decks, but I don't even know really the state of everything, because I know Spyros, Pendulums, Trickstars are like the top 3 decks. Are there any others? No, not there any others. Not just like Vandals, Pendulums. So Pendulums, Trickstars, and Spyros are the top 3 decks to beat right now. Out of the 3, I think Trickstars might be the cheapest. Well, unless I think Reincarnation's like $20. But Magician, I think, will run you about 40 or so. But I mean, then you're gonna need the new Link monsters, and the new Link monsters are like $75. And I'm not about that life. So I'm gonna think I'm going that route. But then Pendulum Magician just got 2 hits with Double Iris Magician and Perform Powers, Skull Acrobat, Joker. So with those 2 cards being gone, the deck might see less play, or they'll just work around it because Electrum, Heavy Metaphors, Electromite, and Vandred, Thingy-Mahoozits are pretty good, you know, monsters for Links and Pendulums. But I don't know. It's a state right now where I really want to play Counter Fairies. But then Dino Rabbit's right there. And Dino Rabbit will, I guess, Dino Rabbit I guess could see a lot of play. I'm not so sure. But because I mean, Solemn Strikes would work even better in Dino Rabbit because you just summon Logia, summon Doga, set 5, pass. But you need something to negate effects, negate spells and traps. That's it. Monster summons aren't that big because a lot of monsters activate when they're summoned. A lot of monsters activate when other summoned monsters are destroyed. So will people play Torrential and Boundless at 3? I don't know. But will this bring Starlight Road back? It could. It could bring Starlight Road because Starlight Road was really big when Torrential was at 3 back in the past. I believe Torrential was at 3 when Starlight Road came out. I think. I want to say maybe. But I mean, we have I think Dark Hole is unlimited. Monster Reborn. Solemn Judgment. All we need is Change of Heart and Pot of Greed. 2 Pot of Greed. Love that. Can't wait for Pot of Greed to come back. And Brain Control isn't that good of a card that I thought it was going to be. Or good of a card that I thought it was, because I forgot they changed the errata that said you can only take control of a monster that can be normal summon or set. So nothing that can be special, something that can only be special summon. So I can't take Links, I can't take Synchros, Exceeds, Fusions, Rituals. You can't take a majority of the cards. So I guess that's why Brain Control is at 3, because it won't be doing much for you, which sucks. And I have to find some dueling application to actually use the latest ban list. Hopefully Yugioh Pro has updated itself so I could actually figure that out. But I don't know. Yu-Gi-Oh is in a weird state right now. And I also found out that there are 2 regionals coming up near me. One on next Friday? No, next Saturday in like East Philly. Or yeah, I think it's East Philly. And then there's another one in Philly at the convention center in April. So I could really just keep practicing and save some time and try to go to local tournaments and take some people down. Okay. And take some people down. I could try. And just keep practicing, or keep practicing online and just keep using the same deck. And maybe I could just make a name for myself with Counter Fairies. Because Counter Fairies are the only deck I have right now that I can actually play in the competitive world without getting completely trashed. Because other decks might be able to keep up, Synchros won't be able to keep up, Black Wings won't be able to keep up because they're kind of the same as Synchros. But Black Wings have a lot of monsters that can special summon themselves, even though they don't need to be used as synchro material. It can still work, kinda, I guess. But I mean, Gofu is the first Black Wing card that's ever been banned in a long time. Was Gale banned? I think Gale was banned. Or was that one? I think it was one for one this time. But, right? I don't know. Evil Swarms? Maybe. Maybe Evil Swarms can do something. Maybe against FAs, against Vandreds, against some Pendulum variant. Well, actually a bunch of Pendulum variants, because a lot of their monsters, a lot of their key plays are level 5 and higher. But if they were to like link summon, then I'm kind of fucked. But I don't know. Kind of weird kind of thing. Light Swarms, I need to get Minerva to try to keep up. Should probably order that already. Minerva, Strikes, my Apprentice Magician, my Spellbook of Knowledge. Maybe not Spellbook of Knowledge and Apprentice, because those cards won't really. I mean, I want to make Dark Magician to work, but I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I really don't. Dark Magicians are a really good deck, but spent so much money on those Megatins for the Magician stuff, only for me to actually have to spend more money to get the other Magician stuff I didn't get, only for all the Magician stuff to get reprinted. However, I was able to get Drowning Mirror Force. No, I had Quaking Mirror Force already. I was able to get Ghost Reapers. I was able to get a good amount of cards that I can actually use. And some cards I just put in back burner until something else happens later on. But I want Yu-Gi-Oh! To be like my main thing right now. And I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to be practicing a lot with Counter Fairies until another deck comes around that I maybe can get. Maybe I'll do some pack openings if you guys want to see that. Tell me down below if you want to see some pack openings. I'll go and get like a box or something, and we can open it together. But yes, I'm going to try to go for some regionals, maybe some local tournaments. I'll try to go again for my locals tomorrow. And see what I can do about that. I'm not very hopeful because it didn't look like that big of a crowd last time. Maybe I'll stay a little longer this time, but we'll have to see. But yes, keep watching the replays. Tell me what you guys think about the Counter Fairy deck. Hopefully when it's up, we'll have some application with the latest ban list. So I can show you what the shenanigans can happen with Solemn Judgment. Maybe we'll bump up the Counter Fairy deck to 60 cards to play Pot of Desires more consistently, I guess. And because I want a Pot of Desires, I want Pot of Desires in the deck because it does add consistency. Because you don't need all the counter traps. You don't need that for your combos. You only need a few counter traps to be able to stop everything your opponent wants to do. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully next time I see you guys, I'll be a little better with Counter Fairies, maybe a little better by next week. We'll see. I'll send some more videos your way later in the week. And as always, guys, I'll catch you later.